I've been asked this particular question: is it easy to raise up a child in the Western country, or is it easy to raise up a child in the UK? Well, today we're going to be discussing about that. So come with me, let's get right into the video, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nene, as you already know. I'm a dependent on a skilled worker visa and I live here with my family. And on my channel I talk about relocating to the UK using the student route, relocating to the UK as a dependent, lifestyle in the UK, lifestyle in Aberdeen, and of course career opportunities. If this kind of content you like to see, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of my content. Thank you guys. So guys, today I'm just going to be discussing with you guys on some questions I've been having, and let's get right into the video, guys. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys as my guy because this topic, we just need to emphasize it a lot, because many people are getting into trouble because of things they are not used to, and I don't blame them. It's because where we are coming from, our African countries, we're used to spanking a child or shouting at them to leave certain places or stuff like that. But over here, their own is just like, okay, go to the naughty corner and we're not used to that. What is a naughty corner? But well, we're getting used to that whole setting now, and I feel like I needed to make this video because there was one mother's group I'm in presently, and somebody talked about having issues with the government or social service, and they're about taking her 2 kids away from her. But it's not like she had issues with the 2 kids, it's just particularly with one. Over here they tend to like check the children's body, ask them certain questions. How are you being treated at home? Do your mom shout? Do your dad shout? Do they beat you and stuff like that? In case of that, you could call the emergency number, or there's one particular number, is it 999 or 111, one of those 2 numbers anyways. And so this particular day they were checking the child's body and they found out there was mark, and they asked her, how did this happen? And I said, oh, my mom beats me. So when the parent came to pick a child from school, social service people were already waiting for her and stuff like that. So she got into trouble. I don't even know how that case ended, because the woman didn't even come back to even explain, okay, how the case ended and stuff like that. So this thing is just something that is common. Another of my friend that is also here in Aberdeen said that there was one day she shouted at her child because her children are used to jumping, and here there are some certain times that your kids are not supposed to be awake anymore or jumping, because you'll be disturbing your neighbor and stuff like that. So she told the child, okay, it's not time for you to jump anymore, it's late, so yeah, go to bed and stuff. And the child picked up his phone, like the mother's phone, and said, I'm going to call the cops on you. And she said, are you being serious? These was people that just came like maybe in September, and this call that he was supposed to make was like in November, towards the end of November last year. And this topic has just been on my mind to talk for so long, but something more important to just come to cover it. But I think it's time for me to put this out there, because it's not just easy as a parent trying to raise your child abroad, mostly when they are a bit young. If they have had like the experience of raising them up in African society and stuff like that, then that is different. But raising them here in a foreign man's land is definitely not easy, because you have to go with their policy. That is just it. So one thing that you should know, that you are not allowed to just shout at your child, because they feel like that is you abusing the child. You don't beat the child, because once again you're abusing the child. So they feel like instead of shouting, there's a way you talk to the child, and the child will know that what they are doing is presently wrong. And also there's also a way of you telling the child, go to the naughty corner, taking out their tabs or their phones and stuff like that as corrective measures, instead of you just beating them, because they feel like you're abusing the child. I understand to an extent why that is done, but how do you correct a child of maybe between the age of 1 to 3, when that is their prime age to actually be children? Do you understand? But they don't even want to just understand. They feel like look for other measures to correct that child instead of laying your hands on them. So that's just one. Then 2, over here they have like special healthcare visitors that come to check maybe from 0 to like 4 years from time to time, to just check them, how they are growing and stuff like that, if they are eating well, if their clothes are looking neat, if their surrounding is looking great and stuff like that. I even had one that came to see my son like a few days ago. But of course, I'm doing a great job. I'm a good mom. So what do you expect? So my son like passed through all these stages and everything was just good. Of course. So anyway, so from time to time they come to check them out and all of that. There was one of my friends also again. Sorry, I have to go talking about my friend because I have to talk about life experiences of other people as well as mine. So one of my friends, we have a child like of the same age gap, and they complained that okay, maybe our own child was a bit slimmer than the normal age. Like at that age they are supposed to have like a particular weight, but they felt like the child was not of the same weight of that age gap or age frame or whatever. So they told her that she needs to do more with work and stuff like that. And she was like, but I'm feeding the child and the child is eating well. If you even see my son and you see our own child, you tell from the difference that okay, my son is a bit slimmer. But I don't even blame my son because while I was growing up, I was like Tini Boku. I was very slim. So that one I knew that my son, there's no way before he get fat, it's going to be a long time. But he has stronger bones, I call it, because when you carry him and put him on a scale, you will tell that okay, yes, he has weight. But or even when you carry him up, you could tell that he has weight. But looking at him there, you know like, this baby is slim, that kind of thing, until you get close to carrying him up or putting him on the scale and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to tell you that. So the second one is that they will come, the healthcare visitors, they come from time to time to just check up on the child. They will definitely tell you when they are coming. It's not like they're going to come to you unaware. So they're definitely going to come from time to time to check up on your child and give you advice on when you need to go for your immunization or when you need to register for a dentist and stuff like that, and just ask if there's anything you want them to help you with. But be careful not to ask too much, because if you go and ask too much now, you go so you don't go and enter inside public fund. So that's another thing. So even be careful of some things that you collect from, because some of them bring like items for you. So be careful of the one you are collecting and make sure that it's not inside public fund, because you may not know, you may just feel like okay, it's the health visitor that just brought it for you, but some of them are relating to maybe they give you money or something like that. When they give you money, because I have a friend in Northern Ireland and she said her own case, they even gave her like vouchers for money, but she had to reject it because she's not sure if that was public funds or not. Because they are even them, they're not going to tell you whether it's public funds or not until you go and read about it and you find out that maybe there's public funds inside. So you just have to be careful. Some of the health visitors bring money, they bring vouchers for clothes for the children, and those vouchers I feel like it's actually public fund because they're supposed to give it to their indigenous or their citizens or whatever, but they just feel like okay, everybody is living here now, so both the immigrants and everyone, they need to give it to them. But whatever be the case, just be careful when you are collecting any item from the healthcare visitor, mostly when it has to do with money. So that's my number 2. Number 3, what you have to just think about when you are going to come abroad to raise up a child is, mostly when they are between the age of 0 to 3, is how you need to do your child care, minding, whatever. What I mean by minding is that you have to look for a minder, because your child cannot, it's not like Africa whereby you can carry your child to daycare for that 0 age, then put the child in preschool when the child is 1 to 2, and he goes to nursery when he's like 3. Over here, it's not like they don't have spaces like that, but it's so expensive. It's really expensive. It can cost as much as 700 to 1,300 per month. That 700 is when you do like 3 days a week, and that is half day. So when you do like 3 days a week, 8 to 1 p.m. for 3 days a week, you could get like 700, 800. But when you do 5 days a week full time, that is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is like the one of 1,300, 1,200 monthly. So that is really expensive. I don't even advise you to go for that. So just scrap it out of your dictionary. I know some people have been asking me, how do me and my husband cope raising up our son since he's below 3 years old? So sometimes my husband, when my husband goes to work, I stay home, and when he's closing from work or when he gets back home, I go out for my own work. So my husband has the permanent role. I am flexible to be able to do any job of my choice that I want to do. Sometimes I do work from home. Sometimes I go out to go and work and stuff like that. Sometimes I just want to just be at home. I don't want to just go anywhere. I'm just lazy like that to just be home and make videos, of course, for you guys, like the way I'm doing right now. But anyway, so sometimes when my husband is back before I head out, sometimes my husband is on break, like maybe he doesn't have work for that day. Then I go for my morning duties. Then he is home with our son. Then sometimes Sometimes the two of us are just home. Sometimes we just feel like, okay, we'll just be home. Sometimes we also have like a family friend where we could just keep our son, like go and drop him there for playtime with other of his friends, like their same age group, and the two of them are together. So if you are coming, you need to look for like friends or family, or you and your husband could do sometimes this and sometimes that. And that sometimes he goes to, like maybe your husband goes to work and you stay at home. Sometimes when he's back, you'll be able to go. So if you know you are just new or you're coming newly, you just have to, both of you need to get like flexible job that will be able to accommodate raising up your child. Because from the age of 3, you could get the UK free education, but that is just for 15 hours. But once the child is 5 years, you could get the whole 30 hours free education from the government. That is not public fund. That is what you are just entitled to, even as an immigrant. So once Arian is 3 years old now, he can go to school for 15 hours free. So it depends on you. If you want to do your 15 hours within the 5 days, is your choice. If you want to do the 15 hours, that's 5 hours per day. That's for 3 days a week. It's still your choice. But until it's 5, you cannot get the 30 hours free 30 hours free education by the government. So that's just it. So if you know you're coming in with your child or children that are below the age of 3, just have it at the back of your mind that either you need to pay for childminder or not. I think they have like African society whereby they help themselves and stuff like that, because childminding, if you want to pay for childminders, is really expensive. It can cost between £5 to like £10. It depends on whoever you are using. So you could just check around and just see how you can work around it. But the best bet is like just look for a flexible job that will be able to accommodate you raising up your child. Even if you even enroll your children inside school, you need to go and do pickup. So you have to also plan how you need to pick up your child from school and stuff like that. So just have it at the back of your mind that, okay, there's something called childminder here in the UK or even abroad. I think it's familiar with most of their countries. So you have to look for whoever will take care of your child when you are not available. Because you cannot leave, even here in the UK, you cannot leave a child below 16 years old alone. So even if your child is like 15 years old and you will be 16 in 3 days time, so the UK government, your child is still below 16, so there's nothing they can do. So please just be careful so that you don't get into trouble with social services, because I've had a situation whereby I've heard that someone left their children at home, like 2 kids at home. One was about 12 and the other one was about 8, and she wanted to quickly go and get something. Before she came back, there was police in front of her house. Some of all this about Igbo people, they used to report. So just be careful with your neighbors that you have, because they will go and report you. Your neighbors could easily report you and say that, oh, we just noticed that the parents of these children are not home and we need you to come confirm. And if they confirm, you are inside soup again. So you just have to be careful what you are doing when raising up a child here in the UK or even abroad in general, because I feel like this rule is everywhere. You have to be careful. But whatever country you are going to, just be mindful of their rules pertaining to children and stuff like that. Then also, I've been asked this question: if you give birth to a child in the UK, does it mean that your child is a citizen? Please, the answer is no. The child is not a citizen. Although right now, if you give birth to a child in the UK comprises of Northern Ireland, England, and Scotland, and Wales. So even if you give birth to your child in any of these 4 places, your child is not a citizen. But your child could become a citizen after 7 years of staying in the UK. So if your child stays in the UK for 7 years without leaving for more than 3 months in each year, your child could be a citizen. But just be careful that within that 7 years, don't go and valley travel, because these UK people, they used to calculate a lot. So just be careful that you should not carry the child too much out of the country. But once the child is 7 years, has been in the UK constantly for 7 years, you could apply for the citizenship for the child. But at birth, no, the child is not a citizen. You could get your citizenship from US, Canada, or Brazil. At least those 3 countries, I'm very certain that they still offer citizenship at birth. I just hope there's nothing I'm missing out because I've been planning this for so long, and I didn't even know that my talking was going to last this long. Anyways, guys, if you have any question concerning raising up your children abroad, or any other question in general that you want to ask me, feel free to drop a comment and I will reply you when I can. Anyways, thank you guys for watching to this very moment, and see you guys in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye.